Okay, so we're down here in the basement changing this dryer belt. The first thing we've done is loosened the tensioner on this belt here and removed the drive belt here. And we're getting ready to change the main drive belt. We've actually removed the spring.
I'm going to put it back into shape now.
And we're going to change this big main belt here. And you have to disassemble quite a lot to get to it.
Well, if you don't do it this way, there's a lot more. You have to unwire the motor. Nobody wants to do that. Come on.
Right now we're trying to re-straighten the spring back out so it can be put back in place properly.
Okay, now that that spring's out of the way, what we need to do now, this is our key bolt right here that's coming through, holding these rails. That's what we're taking out next. It's a 9/16. Just take that extension off. Once it's loose, take the nut off, pull this bolt out. Sometimes you gotta lift up on the motor to take pressure off of that. And I always put the nut and the split washer back on so I don't lose it. And I lay it there. Now here's the part that makes it all worthwhile. You hinge this whole thing out like that so that it's clear of that motor bracket. Then all you do is take your old belt from underneath the motor, take it, work it over the pulley, under the bracket, and it's off. And the new one goes back on the opposite way. Otherwise, you'd have to unwire this entire motor and take this whole bracket and stuff off. And nobody wants to do that. Take your new belt. Put it in front of that big pulley first, just like this. So it's on this side, the side facing you, like that. Take the bottom part, go under the motor with it, just like that. Now it's hanging in front of this pulley and it's under this motor.
It's in front of this pulley here.
Yep.
And behind this one.
Yep, and underneath the motor
Underneath the motor.
Yep.
And it's going to reach around.
It's going to grab the motor pulley here.
Bottom pulley.
Yep. And then we'll work it up on the front side of this pulley. We'll roll it on. I'm just getting some of this oil that's in here out of here. A lot of it. Yeah, when you get a chance, take a shot back to it and get whatever wint you can possibly get. Okay, push these rails back to where the holes are. Take your bolt, put it back in the hole. You might have to lift up a little bit on the motor to get the holes to line up better. I usually do. Can't feel it. There we go.
There we go.
I went through. Put your bolt back on. Tighten that down.
And again, that's a 9/16.
Correct. 9/16. I'm going to take the extension off this time. Where is it? Where did my 9/16 go? Probably stuck it in my pocket. Yep. Tighten it back up. It doesn't have to be super tight. It's not really got any torque or anything that's going to cause it to come out. It's just got to be good and snug. Now, you put the bottom part of the belt on the bottom, in the bottom pulley groove. Start it on the big pulley and roll it on. Keep your fingers out of the way so don't pinch them. And it's changed.
Yep, you definitely want to keep your fingers out of the way when rolling the pulley so you don't get your fingers caught.
Yep. Now, this, leave it right where it's at. We'll put this down here because this is how it goes. It goes around this one, between the two, and then up to the big pulley. Keeping the belt where it needs to be, the bottom part of it. Then you just put your spring back on. Where'd it go? Under the wing?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. It actually goes down in this slot and comes out this hole right here. I'll grab it with my big pair of pliers. And put it in that hole right there. At the bottom of that tensioner arm. Now,
There's the bottom of the tensioner arm where the spring gets connected. And again, when the spring connects at the bottom, it goes through both holes.
correct. Now, same thing. We're going to start rolling this belt on, but instead of trying to do it up here, we're going to use this pulley down here to help us out. And you can keep your hand flat on it, and that way it won't get pitched. And we'll let this pulley do the work for us. You may have to hold it a little once the spring tension gets on it. We'll use this pulley to work it on. There, it got twisted out. How did that happen? Okay. Well, we'll take it off and redo it. I don't know why that happened. Okay, try that again.
We use the big pulley.
Oh, that went a lot better. Yep, use the big pulley to do the work for you. Instead of trying to pull this one around, because that's a lot harder than using this one. And it should center itself. If it doesn't, you can always push it one way or the other and it'll find the center of the grooves. That's looks good. And there's good tension. You don't want a lot of tension, but you don't want a lot of slop either. The old one had a lot of slop and it was stretched out really good. So that's done.
And that's how we change the belts on the dryer. It's a Speed Queen dryer, and this is Mark down here doing all the work for us. Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.